Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roysum. I am super excited to continue our Motley series on a fundamental control topic. That is, the proper units for displays and readouts, and why does it matter? To be clear, this episode is not concerned with metric being better than English units. That debate was settled decades ago among almost all the countries of the world. Rather, it is about units that have three vital properties. First, they are calibrated and calibratable, meaning that we have independent method of checking the displays and readouts, and that the builder shows us how to do that in the service manual. Second, the units are in engineering units. Last but not least, the units are web units rather than machine units. Allow me to illustrate with a car speedometer as an example. Let's consider two options: miles per hour or wheel RPM. Note that both are engineering units, and that both can be independently calibrated, and that both can be used to drive a car. But one is clearly better than the other. Yes, you could learn to operate a car with wheel RPM as a speed readout. However, the learning process would be brutal. You would first try 1,000 RPMs in the city, and soon you see disco lights in your rearview mirror. So then you back off to 500 RPMs in the city. But again, you see the disco lights in your rearview mirror. So then backing way off to 400 RPMs, you no longer are getting speeding tickets. However, you would need to repeat those experiments in a very disciplined way, taking copious notes at speeds of 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, and 70 miles an hour, corresponding to the common speed limits in the U.S. Perhaps you could shorten this process if you have math talents, but the math for web machines is much more complicated than the math of figuring out automobile speed as a function of wheel RPMs. And of course, as soon as an operator got into a new car, the process would have to be repeated again. The takeaway is that without proper units that translate from machine to machine, one is left with no other options for determining best settings other than a lot of trial and error. With proper units, anyone can get into any car with no fear of getting speeding tickets. The four fundamental web handling controls are tension, nip, torque, and speed. The proper units for tension in the English system is PLI, not dancer cylinder pressure. The proper units for nip is PLI, not nip cylinder pressure. Similarly, the proper units for motor torque in the English system is PLI, not motor amps or pound-foot of torque. Finally, as we saw earlier, the proper units for speed are feet per minute, not RPM. And seldom is percent ever the proper units for web machinery. If we apply this mindset to winders, we see the great advantages of using proper units for the TNTs. First, you can compare the relative sizes and thus strengths directly as a number. Second, you can directly transfer those settings to a new machine, no matter the make, model, and vintage and specs. Let's summarize. Do not let convention, such as dancer pressure or taper tension in percent, cripple communication and understanding and operations. Calibrate your old machine. This is an excellent project for an engineering student or a new hire. Do not let any new machines in your building unless they are calibrated and calibratable in proper web units. Thank you so very much for letting me share thoughts about proper units in this Motley series. Stay tuned for next week when we will return to the ever-popular War Stories series with an admonition about operators taking breaks. If you have a topic you would like to hear about, let me know in the comment section below. If you found any of these stories to be interesting or useful, please like and share and subscribe. And remember to check out the show notes for surprises. See you next time.